Hey everybody, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about vanilla perfumes that don't smell like food. This video is dedicated to really good vanilla perfumes that do not smell like food or overly sweet. These are what I call my gateway vanilla perfumes. It is almost spring. Spring is right around the corner, and there's something about spring that makes me think of vanilla. So it's a perfect time to kick off my vanilla series, and I'm going to start the series with my gateway vanilla perfumes. You will not be smelling like food. I've got some terrific vanilla perfumes. I'm telling you, there's something for everybody in this one. Well, at least I think so. I'm going to start the list with something that, well, it's my scent of the day. It is by Seline and is called Dans Paris. This is a beautiful powdery almondy vanilla that has a little bit, just a little bit of that slight Play-Doh vibe, a little bit of florals, a little bit of spices that keep it from being a foodie vanilla. I smelled this for the first time in the Seline boutique down in Houston, and gosh, unfortunately there were so many in the line that were really, really terrific. And my first one was Black Tie. I still love that perfume, but I thought it was time to showcase Dans Paris, which is even less of a vanilla heavy vanilla because it is a little bit more floral and is a little bit more spicy. So the spices in here are not baking spices, so you're not going to smell like a baked good or anything foodie. The main spice in here is coriander. So it's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit peppery, but it's very, very muted. And the floral in here is linden blossom, which is really very delicate. So it has a really delicate floral touch. But the vanilla and almond here are so gorgeous, and they come out more in the dry down. So it's almondy, it's a little bit vanillic, slightly spicy. The spices fade in the background. The floral kind of fades over time, and it dries into like a sweet, musky, powdery, almondy vanilla that never ventures into the gourmand zone. This one and Black Tie are quiet. They are more subdued. So they're not powerhouse fragrances. So you do need to know that going into it. But one of the nice things about the Seline, at least the website too, is they carry these travel sizes. And I have one in Le Peau Nu. It's great if you are on a budget. You do not have to break the bank to get the perfume that you want. Or if you don't feel like you need a full bottle, you can get the travel spray, and which is exactly what I did for Le Peau Nu. So I think that's going to hold me over so I don't need a full bottle, but at least I can enjoy the fragrance. So a beautiful non-foodie, classic almondy, powdery almondy vanilla from Seline. So the next vanilla perfume, which is a gorgeous gateway non-foodie vanilla perfume, is a Dominique Ropiant creation. He's the one that created, or the nose behind Baby Cat, which I do love. He also created this beauty, this unsung beauty here called Infinite Sky, and it is a warm, woody, peppery, spicy vanilla. Gosh, every time I smell this, this is so wonderful. So a very spicy, peppery, warm, woody vanilla. So the pepper in here is not pink pepper, it's not black pepper, it is a Sichuan pepper. If you have smelled Sichuan pepper, you know that scent. So it has a little bit of heat. There's a little bit of heat behind this, a little bit of pepperiness, but it's not the type that will really overpower a fragrance or make you want to sneeze. It's so gorgeous. So it lends a spiciness. I know there's other spices in here that just aren't listed in the notes. Maybe a touch of cinnamon, maybe a touch of nutmeg. I could be totally wrong, but there's just something else that's adding to kind of this hot spiciness. And it has a beautiful, warm, woody base. I want to say cedar and sandalwood in the base. So they all come together to create this beautiful, spicy, warm, woody vanilla that is perfect year-round, absolutely non-foodie, a great performance. This thing has great performance, and it is an underrated gem in my opinion. Oh my gosh, speaking of great year-round vanillas, this is a perfume that I've been talking about for years. It is one of the best year-round vanillas. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is called Architects Club by Arquiste. This is a beautiful, fresh, citrusy, aromatic, woody vanilla. So the vanilla in here has a gourmand flair, but it doesn't smell overly foodie. So the point of view of this fragrance called the Architects Club is a bunch of architects getting together after work and sipping some martinis in a real warm, cozy, woody bar that has velvet seats. It's very plush. You're sipping on your martini, so you've got a lemon martini. It's got a little bit of juniper, so there are the aromatics. I want to say this also has, in addition to lemon, has like orange rind, so it's a little bit citrusy. It's got those beautiful aromatics from the juniper berries. It's got that non-foodie, that almost gourmand vanilla, and it has a lot of these warm woods. So if you like something like Eau Duelle, they're very, very similar. I used to have Eau Duelle, and I decluttered that because they were just too similar. And I wore them side by side multiple times, trying to decide which I liked the best. And the Architects Club ended up winning out because it's just a little bit more lemony. It's a little bit more citrusy, a little bit more fresh, a little bit more aromatic, and Eau Duelle is more spicy. It has a little bit more spices. It's a little bit more warm, a little bit more peppery. This just happens to be my favorite. The one thing that people complain about, at least they've told me, is it doesn't last super long. It's not a powerhouse. That's why it is perfect. I wear this to dinner parties. I wear this going out when I'm meeting friends. It is the perfect fragrance because I can smell it. It's got a real tight scent bubble. It's never too strong. It's not going to overpower you, but you're still going to smell really good. Another one Picky Pat loves. So speaking of fresh, citrusy vanillas, this is another great year-round perfume, but I think it really does better in the summer for me. This is my hot weather, kind of my citrusy aromatic vanilla. It's Gypsy Water by Byredo. Gosh, this smells so incredibly good. The only negative is it just has kind of poor lasting power, and that is why I only wear it in the summer because it gets very, very cold here. Today it's actually in the 20s, and we're almost in March, and it's just too cold. This will not do well in really, really cold weather, but it does okay in the warmer weather. And I've said before that I layer this one with the oil perfumery oils. And if I do those two things and spray on my clothes, I can get this to, I can eke out at least a good solid 4 to 6 hours. A very fresh lemony vanilla. It's got some aromatics. It's got juniper, pine, a little bit of incense. I'm a huge incense lover. So for me, the incense is very much in the background, but it definitely adds a depth to it, a slight, and I mean a slight hit of incense. And to me, the incense is cold. It's not burned. So it's not overly smoky, very light, little bit of pepperiness, which goes along with the juniper berries. And they just come together to form a perfect, well, not perfect because it has poor performance, but a lovely, citrusy, aromatic, woody vanilla that does not smell like food. And it is so, so good in the hot weather. Okay, if you guys have been with me for a long time, you know it's coming. You know my best sneaky vanilla is about to be shown. One of my favorite fragrances of all time. This is in many ways me in a bottle, particularly in the colder weather. This is Ivory Root. I just freaking love this perfume. It's different things to different people. Some people smell a lot of incense, particularly in the opening. It's very, very spicy. It's spicy, almost camphorous. Definitely has a smoky quality, definitely has something incensey. Although incense is not listed, I'm sure it's in there. But as this wears, it becomes more vanillic and more sweet. So in the dry down, you have this beautiful sandalwood and a sneaky vanilla. It's definitely there. In fact, hour 4 or 5, when I have people comment on what I'm wearing, they'll say, gosh, you smell so good. And I say, really, what are you smelling? And they say, I smell the vanilla. So the vanilla really comes out in the end, but it's not a foodie vanilla. It's just warm and slightly woody. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so next is a perfume I have completely neglected for like a year. I can't believe I haven't worn this. Well, I can believe it because this to me is a very elegant vanilla. It is Dama Bianca by Xerjoff. This is a very, when I look at it, I think elegance. When I smell it, I think elegance because it's very, very powdery. This is the most elegant powdery vanilla I think I have, or at least out of the set I'm showing today, but it's not foodie at all, but it definitely has a powdery vanillic quality. It's very, very unique. So the main player is a powdery vanilla, but it's offset by a very bright freshness. So this has kumquat in the beginning, which is a very unusual citrus, but it definitely lends a slight freshness to it. So it's fresh, It's powdery. It has the teensiest bite of something, I'm gonna say savory, like a spice, and it is malt. So this has a little bit of malt, which I think plays really well with the powdery elements. I don't know the florals. I'm going to guess heliotrope since it's very, very powdery. So a beautiful, non-foodie, powdery, elegant vanilla with a splash of citrus and a very subtle dustiness of a warm, savory note from that barley. Absolutely gorgeous. And I really need to wear this more often because even though it does read fancy to me, it's too good not to wear. Okay, so I'm heading down to the last three, and these are the most gourmand of the bunch. The next one is a very beautiful vanilla tonka almond perfume that has a lot of counterbalancing notes, which keeps it out of the foodie zone. So this is Bois Doré, and this is a strong vanilla tonka almond perfume that doesn't quite head into that Play-Doh zone, but it definitely wants to be a gourmand. But there are other notes in here which, in my opinion, keep it from being a full-on gourmand. And those notes are, so there's pepper, there is tobacco, so it has a little bit of an earthiness, and there is this very bizarre mineral note which was very prominent to me in the beginning. When I first got this perfume, I had a little bit of a hard time because that mineral note was very strong to my nose, where I was picking it up. Now, after having this for maybe 2 years, the mineral note or mineral notes are really in the background. It adds a coldness to this perfume, so this perfume is a little bit on the chilly side, even though it has some warm notes, you know, tonka, vanilla, almond, and I think the almond gives it a little bit of a dustiness. So many in this line that I absolutely love. This is so good and just hits the spot when I'm looking for a perfume that smells almost like a dessert but doesn't quite get there. So the second to last one is a fragrance from the House of Sillage. This is Wonder Woman. This is the second to last, or the second most recent iteration. And I think this is a lovely, soft, powdery, fruity vanilla with musk and some heavy gourmand notes. There's caramel in here, but it's not sticky sweet. It's not overly sweet. It really is a beautiful kind of a powdery, fruity, musky vanilla. If you like Van Cleef & Arpels Orchidée Vanille, which I love, this is going to put you in the ballpark. They have some differences. This has raspberry, so this definitely has a soft raspberry in the beginning. This also has orris or iris, whereas Orchidée Vanille has this fantasy orchid note, so there are differences. There's a little bit of a greenness, like a fresh greenness. I want to say it's Divana. And vanilla and musk in the dry down. It is so beautiful. So if you like one, you're going to like the other. Both of them are not known to be powerhouses. This one is on the quiet side and gentle side. And for me, I really don't care. I don't need powerhouses all the time. But for those of you who really want a powerhouse, you need to know that going in. So I definitely think it is for people who really want something that has more of a tighter scent bubble. It is a soft, airy, lighter, more ethereal perfume, but there's just something about it I absolutely love. The last one I show is definitely the most gourmand, but I show it because somebody I know who I love dearly, i.e. my mom, who hates, well, she dislikes vanilla perfumes, really enjoyed this one when I wore it, and it is Hufflepuff. I have many cupcakes. I will probably say this is my very favorite because I'm a very big fan of citrusy vanillas, and this is a gorgeous citrusy vanilla. So this is the one that does smell like food, but it's not overly sweet. It has a lightness to it. This smells like lemon chiffon cake, and you drizzled like a very light peachy orangey syrup on top. Very light. It's not overly foodie because there are soft florals in the background. I don't know the flower. I would say like gentle white flowers, and there's coconut in here. So the coconut comes out more in the beginning. So I will tell you, my mother, who does not like coconut and does not like vanilla, smelled this on me one day. They were visiting me and I sprayed this, and my mom said, "Oh, I can smell your perfume." I said, "Oh, do you like it?" And she said, "No, I don't." She doesn't beat around the bush. And I said, oh, why not? She goes, it's too sweet. So now we're going to fast forward like 5 or 6 hours. This is when I was dropping them off at the airport and I was giving them a hug. And my mom said, oh, Chrissy, you smell so good. What is that? I go, Mom, it's the perfume that you smelled earlier that you didn't like. She goes, oh, well, I really like it now. So it does start off strong and a little bit more gourmand, but as it dries down, it becomes a little bit more floral, not as sweet, and really, really lovely. And for somebody who does not like coconut or vanilla, my mom was a big fan, and I'm a huge fan. I got this one 30% off last year. It does not go on sale that often because it's very, very popular. I jumped on it. I was thrilled. One of the many reasons I hope you would subscribe to my channel is that whenever these go on sale, I will post them on my community, and they sell out pretty quickly when they go on big sales. So if you're interested in getting this cupcake and waiting for a sale, make sure you hit that bell notification so you know I will post it when it goes on sale. But definitely love it. So that does it. So that does it for my gateway vanilla perfumes. Fragrances that feature the note of vanilla but are not overly sweet, overly foodie, or overly gourmand. For those who just want to dip your toes in the vanilla fragrances but don't want to walk around smelling like a dessert. I hope you enjoyed your time with me. If you are a fan of my content, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, be part of the community. It really does help our channel by the YouTube algorithm will put it out for more people to see. And before I sign off, I would love it if you would tell us what your favorite gateway vanilla perfume is in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.